Po. Wybiła 18 i właśnie wchodzimy na live'a. Jest i live, Rafał Zawierucha Filmowa. Chodźcie, cieszę się, że jesteście. Całuję Was mocno już na początku. Witam się z Wami wszystkimi moimi gośćmi, obserwatorami, obserwującymi, którzy dopiero dzisiaj dołączyliście, albo też, którzy już jesteście od początku. Cieszę się, że przychodzicie, tak, meldujecie się. Dzisiejszy Zawierucha Filmowa odcinek będziemy rozmawiali sobie o Pewnego Razu w Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Troszeczkę taka odskocznia od naszego polskiego kina, ale tak sobie uznałem, że skoro mam fantastycznych przyjaciół w Stanach i przyjaciół, których poznałem na planie filmowym Pewnego Razu w Hollywood, to chciałbym ich tu zaprosić. Proszę, żebyście teraz powiem kilka słów na temat dzisiejszego w ogóle live'a. Otóż cały czas na dole w komentarzach będzie z konta Zawierucha Filmowa Kornelia dzielnie swoimi paluszkami po prostu starała się tłumaczyć to, co my tu będziemy mówić. I właśnie za chwilę zobaczymy jej też pierwszy jakiś komentarz, który przetłumaczy z polskiego na angielski, a później z moich gości, czyli Madison Beatty i Mike Mo, będziemy ich tłumaczyli na język polski dla Was. Pozdrawiam też słuchaczy Radia Chili Z. Chwilkę tylko powiem Wam też, że nie zapomniałem o konkursie oczywiście. Otóż rozwiązanie konkursu z poprzedniego odcinka, czyli ile dni kręcono scenę walki pana Wołodyjowskiego, Michała, w Ogniem i Mieczem. 4 dni kręcono tę walkę, jak Zbyszek Zamachowski powiedział nam, a zwycięzcami są Marcin Juras, Iwona Chałuba i Martyna Szostak 221, taki manik. Więc mam nadzieję, że też jesteście tu z nami, jesteście i oglądacie dzisiejszy odcinek. A teraz słuchajcie, sprawdzę tylko, czy jest nasz tłumacz na pokładzie. Kornelia, napisz coś jest. I'm here. Alright, so Cornelia from this account, Zawierucha Filmowa, will be translate everything what we are saying here with my guests. And now, Madison, I hope you're there. So if you can text something here in comment something, because I can't wait to see you here. And let me give me just 2 minutes. I want to introduce you to our audience from Poland and from all over the world, actually. Słuchajcie, pierwszym moim gościem będzie Madison Beatty, która jest niezwykłym człowiekiem, niezwykłą aktorką, wspaniałą osobą, ciepłą, życzliwą, działającą na różnych polach zawodowych. Gra od dziecka. Yes, Madison. Hi, Madison. Just introduce you and calling you. Gra od dziecka jako aktorka, grała w teatrze, miała piękne marzenia, wielkie marzenia. Część z tych marzeń się spełniła u niej już w życiu zawodowym, a oprócz planu filmowego, co jest ciekawe, jest też DJ-em i gra muzykę na żywo w kalifornijskich, w Los Angeles w klubach. To póki co taki tytułem wstępu i już nie mogę się doczekać. I just can't wait to call you, Madison, so here we are, go. Mam nadzieję, że będzie dobre połączenie. I hope the connection is okay. Actually, I hope that you get up.
Hi!
Madison, well, good
Hello,
morning.
hello. How are you? I haven't seen you in...
First of all, I want to say sorry that I had to wake you up so early.
I don't mind. I miss you a lot. It's been a while since you were in LA.
Oh my God, yeah. Since Oscars, actually, since a few months, right? Because
Too long.
Too long, I know. You look great. You look great.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, thank you for having a time for this conversation and you know because this is my idea, as I told you and as I told my friends, our friends actually, to Costa and to Samantha and to James Landry, which I call him to talk with him in another episode maybe. That I want to share with people our thinking about our job, about the situation, about our characters which we are creating. So, and this movie, I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is such a great movie. Not only that because we could play there, but it's moving us to early 60s, 70s, and I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We were like time travelers.
Yeah, yeah, Madison. But I have to ask you first of all. First thing is, you're a very young actress, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not your first role.
Yeah, I started acting when I was 10 years old. And started doing theater, and then did some film, and I can't imagine doing anything else. At this point, I've been doing it 15 years, and I wouldn't trade it.
But you were playing as a movie actress?
Yes. Yeah, I some TV and some movies. And if I can say, one of my favorite things about Once Upon a Time was that it was shot on film. And I feel like I've been so lucky that even at my young age, I've worked on 3 movies now that were shot on film,
Wow.
not digital. And to me, there's no better way to shoot a movie. And of course, Quentin believes that same thing, that film is the way to go, and film is not dead. There's just a difference for me as an actor on set of them checking the gate and us knowing that it is on film. It's not on some USB. It's being printed on the film. And then I think for the viewer to see the grain, there's something that just feels more real about it to me. And that was particularly exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, but you know, you're saying about another movies. I think that you're saying about the curious case of Benjamin Button. Am I right?
That one was actually on digital, but that was very special to work on. The Master by Paul Thomas Anderson was on film.
Okay, but in that movie, I mean, in the case of Benjamin Button, you met Brad Pitt for the first time.
Oh, yeah, I did. I was a baby, but that was the first time I worked with Brad. And then when we started working on Once, I didn't want to be that actor that was like, hey, I worked with you, 10 years ago or whatever it was. So I didn't say anything, and I didn't expect him to remember. I just was focused on the work, and he remembered Benjamin Button and that we had worked together. And that blew my mind. How many people does Brad Pitt work with? And I also look a lot different than I did in Benjamin Button because I was a kid.
But he remembered that.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
He's a great guy.
I mean, I have to ask you about that, but later, about the meeting on the set with Brad and those incredible scenes, which I love, really. But first, let's talk about our first meeting with Quentin. I mean, because I remember very, very, very clearly that moment when I saw this beautiful big guy in the production center, and I don't remember if we met there for the first time when we were watching Great Escape, or maybe another movie.
Oh,
The Great
I think
Escape.
it might have been when we were, because I remember. So you guys, Quentin he had such a love for film that he would have these cast and crew screenings, and we get to go watch these films together at his office on film. And I feel like that actually was the first time I met you, because the other time I remember is when I came to set to get wardrobe approval, and you guys were filming at the house. And I think I saw you again there.
Oh yes, I think so. Yeah, it could be like that. Yeah, it could be like that. But let us know about this first meeting with Quentin. And,
yeah. So
and how actually how they get you there? How did they get you to play Katie?
Well, it's funny because I actually first auditioned for Squeaky, who's played by Dakota Fanning. So I had an audition with just the casting director for Squeaky. I went in barefoot. I actually played Patricia Krenwinkel before in my career, so I knew a lot about the Manson family at that point. And I auditioned for Squeaky, and I didn't hear anything for a month. And, you know, usually you got to move on after you have an audition, but I couldn't stop thinking about it because it's Tarantino, you know?
Yeah.
And
you had to sign an you know, non-disclosure agreement and everything
I couldn't
like that.
tell anyone. I had to keep it all to myself. Yeah. And then I got a call on like a Thursday afternoon that I had a meeting Monday morning with Quentin and other actors, and it wasn't for Squeaky, and that's all I knew. There were no sides, no script, just an NDA. And I showed up Monday, and there was a group of young actors there, a lot of whom ended up in the movie, like Austin Butler and James Laundrie and Mikey Madison.
By the way, James, he's an incredible guy. James.
He's one of my favorite people. Literally, his laugh.
James, so to all of you, James he's the guy who is on the span ranch, and he's how to say the wheel.
He gets punched by Brad.
Yeah, he got punched by Brad, like huge punch, really.
Yeah.
In the slow-mo.
Off the
he's
ground.
Flying.
Yeah. And then that Monday I went, and they gave us sides when we got there. We gave our phones over, and for about 6 or 7 hours, I was mixed and matched with different actors for a scene in the car. And then we just kept doing it, and then Quentin would come in and give us direction, and then we'd try again. And when I left, I really had no idea how it went or what it meant. I just remember feeling so grateful that regardless of what happened, I just spent hours working with one of my favorite directors in the world, just on a scene that he wrote. And I was like, I'll be happy if nothing else happens, because this meant so much. And then 4 or 5 days later, I practically crumbled, and I found out I'd get to be a part of it.
Yeah. But so let me say like that. You were thinking about another character as well, but you got this part. And I know that I read something about the movie Aquarius, that you played a similar character or the same character, right?
I played, so Katie was what the Manson family called Patricia Krenwinkel. And in Aquarius, I played Patricia Krenwinkel. So it's both of them were based off of her.
Madison, can you check your connection? Something's like, maybe it's Wi-Fi or something like that. I'm not sure, but maybe no. We're too far away. Oh, now it's perfect.
Is that better?
No,
Okay. Sorry.
So yeah.
We're halfway across the world from each other.
Yeah. Far away, definitely too far.
Yeah. But yeah, I played Patricia Krenwinkel in both. But as an actor, I approached both roles differently. I mean, there were similarities because the basis that I was working off of what's known about the Manson family was the same, but the way that I portrayed her was different in both roles.
What do you mean different way? I'm gonna ask you. I have to ask you about this preparation process for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and how did you manage it? How did you do that?
Well, I was fortunate to be able to read the script, but I, of course, with NDAs and all of that. And then Quentin gave us a couple documentaries to watch. And I spent a lot of time on YouTube. just watching videos
those
of
terrible things.
Yeah. And for me, it was really important to try. I watched a clip of Miss Krenwinkel walking to the courtroom, and so then I tried to make sure that I walked similarly to her. I would also say, though, the beautiful thing about working with Quentin is how he lets you try things, and to me, I felt like I didn't have to completely stick to what there was of Patricia Krenwinkel, that there was creative control to try things and take my interpretation of what would happen. And to me, the big thing was how much it was talked about that they were on drugs when they were doing all these things. That to me just helped me ramp up the crazy, because as an actor, you have to try to humanize your character, and how do you humanize what happened? And there's something just so gross about being on Cielo Drive again and doing all of that. And to me, I just tried to lean into how lost she was, and that she ended up with this group, and that she was drugged out. And of course I think it's disgusting, everything that happened, but as an actor, I had to try to peel back the layers of, well, who is she underneath all of this, you know?
You had to understand her inner motivation, her everything. I mean.
Yeah, and there was just so much about how she just wanted to be accepted, and she was lost. There had never been a boy who had told her she was pretty. So I tried to lean into that, but it definitely was creepy.
But yeah, you're saying about that particular scene when we can see them Cielo Drive, and I had the same feeling. You know, I have to tell you, and to you all who are watching us, that totally per accident, I went there exactly 8th of August, just for for have a walk, to visit the place, and I wasn't actually, I was biking bike. I was by bike there, and when I was there, I realized that it's exactly 49 years after.
Oh.
And that was so incredible for me. But you're saying about her when she how she needs a boyfriend, and she's lonely, and we can see it when we are watching this scene on the Span Ranch. You did it, all of you did it great, really. When you're watching, when I'm watching this movie and I see this scene, and I'm saying, wow, it's like they are lonely, but they've got their own family, their own church.
Yeah, and the feeling on set was really eerie at Spawn Ranch, but it was like there was something off, but there was a familial feel on Spawn Ranch, and there was like a bond when we were filming it. And fun fact, the fires in California came through really bad as we were filming once, and we had wrapped Spawn Ranch about 2.5 weeks prior, maybe not even, and the set that was built by our incredible crew completely burnt down about 2 weeks after we were on Spawn Ranch. Yeah, and the hippie in me is kind of like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about that scene, as you said a bit, when you're driving a car, you're inside, and you're like this conversation between them. Was it all of it was written by Quentin, or you had an opportunity to add something, or to improvise something in this particular scene, or in another scene?
Yeah, I mean, I think Quentin was always open to improvisation, but most of what you see on screen is verbatim what he wrote. And if anything, he would come up and get really excited about something that he wanted to add. I feel like the looser part for me was being able to play every take a little differently, because we did takes in the car where we were all just like really angry, and then we had takes where we let our crazy show, and then we had takes where it was just like little kids excited, and that felt really creepy to just try to play it like innocently in our minds, but then there's something really creepy about how blatant the whole thing was. But no, most of the car was verbatim, But we shot that, I think, I want to say over 2 night shoots, over 3 night shoots. And then we went to another location and did some more. I mean, all in all, that scene was probably about a week of filming. And I think it was really important to Quentin to take our time, because that was such a pivotal moment that led up to that insane ending.
Yeah. You know, I read a script because I asked about it, but I couldn't read all of it, like with the ending. I couldn't do that, and that was amazing for me. When I was reading, I had a goosebumps. I said it to Quentin that it was something like opera, like I was reading and I heard everything, every sound, every conversation, words, and you know, like that was incredible. What was your feeling when you read the script?
Well, I definitely had to take a moment before I even started, because I'm sitting looking at a script written by Quentin, and I have adored his work and wanted to work with him since I knew who he was as a kid. So that, just to even take in that I was getting to be a part of it.
Since you could hear bad words.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. There's just like a lot of moments of pinching yourself. But yeah, I mean, the way he writes is like a novel, and like you can't put it down. And I just kept trying to like get through it as quick as I could, because he wrote in such a way where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? But then I would slow myself down, because I had to go to his office, turn in my phone, read it in a room by myself. And I really wanted to make sure that I could soak in the script, because it wasn't like any other film I've worked on where I can revisit a moment and be like, wait, what happened on this page? It was just that day that I got to read it. So I wanted to make sure that I still took my time. But I just felt like I was reading a really good book, and I just wanted to keep flipping the pages.
Well, you said about the cell phone, about phone, and we have to say that, I think, because if you're on the set and if you work with Quentin, you're not allowed to have your phone on set. You have to put your phone on a checkpoint Charlie, to the box, leave it there, and focus on your work.
Yeah, and it was really the best, one of the best parts for me, because I feel like there's such a magical thing on any set, because most people are really happy to be there. But without the phones, when you're between takes, you can't just go sit on your phone. Then people just started talking, and you start talking to the crew, and all of them have worked with Quentin before. And then he would have his 100 rolls of film parties, and that set was easily one of the most magical sets I've been on, because there was just such a love for movies. And I know they've said it in the press a lot, but one of the parts I remember the most is when Quentin would say, okay, we're going to do just one more. Everyone, you hear that? We're going to do one more. Why? Because we love making movies.
Oh my God. And then I really, like you probably, but I had a goosebumps, and I was like looking at this, and I said like, oh my gosh, that's paradise. That's paradise. I'm in heaven. I can do whatever you want, Quentin. I can do whatever you need. I don't know if I'm a good actor or not, but you know, fuck it. I'm gonna do that.
You sound like every actor I know. I don't know if I'm good, but I'm here.
Yeah. Even if you want, you know, even if you ask me to play I don't know, a car, a key, or something like that, an axe.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah,
and I can't imagine for you coming all the way from Poland. I mean, was this your first time working in Hollywood?
That was, Madison.
Wow.
That was.
You're setting high standards.
I don't know how it happened, you know. Maybe heaven helped me, maybe something more, but that was totally I even dream about it. Like I had a dream to work there, to work in Hollywood, and with actors who I love and who I know from big screen, but not with Quentin, Leo, you,
Yeah.
Brad, Margot, Mike,
Yeah.
Costa, and so on and so on, and 100 people,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my question to you, because when you're living in Hollywood, when you're in LA, is it natural that one day it will come to you that you will work with Spielberg, with Woody Allen, with Quentin? How it works?
I mean, I think most actors probably go back and forth of thinking positively, because I think most people who came to Hollywood came because they want to be a part of film, and it's not really about the fame or anything to the people who really care about the art. And I think most of us feel the perseverance of, I don't care how long that it takes, all I want to do is make movies. But it can be a really hard business where you do get a lot of no's. All of that is true. And then you end up seeing a lot of people who are here for the wrong reasons. And when they start booking things and you're not, and it can really mess with your head. But I feel like for me at least, I watch those motivational speeches, and you hear Morgan Freeman talking about how I was an actor for 40, 50 years before I became Morgan Freeman. And I hear that, and to me I refuse to stop. And to me, I don't really care what I work on. I just want to be on set. And if it ends up being a Quentin Tarantino movie, I might fall down when I find out, but I will take it.
Well, I'm gonna think about it, but yeah, why not? My friend, my one of my friend, he's here with us, Piotrek Gąsowski, and he's really great actor. We've got a lot of great actors in Poland, and filmmakers and directors, and he's saying that it's about luck. In our actor's life, 90% of success is simply the luck. What do you think about it?
I think luck compared with hard work, because if you're lucky enough to get an audition for the Quentin Tarantino movie, you got to do the work, because you are lucky to be in the right place at the right time, but I think it's consistently working hard on every audition, because a lot of times when we get auditions, we don't know what it's going to be. I was lucky to even know that I was auditioning for a Quentin Tarantino film, but sometimes you audition for something and they have them under coded sides, and you don't realize that it's the next Spielberg movie until later. So to me, it's important that every single audition I'm doing my best work, and what matters to me is the character. And if I end up working with someone really incredible, I will be overjoyed, but the work comes first.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. It's like there is work, there is your talent and luck. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I think about our work. That it's not enough to have luck. It's not enough to work hard, because you can work really hard.
It's true.
It's
true.
Yeah, but when you finish like your work on set Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and what was your feeling as an actress after this amazing adventure?
That I never want to forget it. I
Oh,
felt
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I felt really emotional, but I was trying not to cry on set. Because I think on any film set you work on, there's something really bittersweet about finishing, because you're so proud to be a part of something, and there really is such a family feeling on set, and that's really sad to let go of. But then you're like, we did this amazing thing together, I can't be sad about it, and I loved every minute. And that was just heightened times 100 on Quentin's set, because I just didn't want to. What am I going to do with myself now that I can't show up to a Quentin Tarantino set? But I didn't want to forget the experience. I just wanted to remember everything. You know, Quentin would he would come up and talk to you between scenes, and he would start telling stories to the crew.
Yeah.
He'd be naming how this film in the 60s with this director,
Yeah.
or like
He knows everything.
everything. And I didn't have my phone to take notes. So then on the ride home, I feel like me and everyone in the car would be like, okay, what was that name that he said? And we'd be trying to like write it down to not forget what he said, because being with him for a minute, you learn so much.
Yeah, it's like you're standing with the guy who knows everything about the French cinema, about Italy, about Western, which he loves, which he loves, you know. And that's true. I had the same feeling after like when I was getting home back home. I had my papers and pencil, and I was writing down everything what happened these days, and I was crying really. That that was like a dream. And and yeah, but so, and you said that never forget. I'd love to add something, because for me that's incredible also, because when you finish work, when you finish set, your job is done, you've got a lot of relationships, like people who you know and who you met. And I love when you have contact, when you're connected with them after movie, like when you're saying like, hey, how are you, what are you doing, let's have a coffee, let's have a lunch, for example, we have like with you and with Mike and with Costa. And you know,
I think it's important with any set, because really when you get together with a group of people and make something, there's a bonding that happens. You know, people always say it feels like camp, because you kind of feel untouched by the world on set, where you're just in your own little world with these people creating a world. And I think on Quentin's set, it was such a higher level of that, with no one having phones, and most people had been working with him for years at that point. Quentin has such a way of leading the set, and not just leading us to film, but leading us to remember why we're doing what we're doing. And so it's such a particular experience. It's so specific. I think it's especially important for all of us to keep in touch, because there's like a understanding of what we were a part of. And I think everyone felt the same way, of just pinching ourselves of like, how did we get to be a part of this? And if I can say too, everyone involved is so lovely. I think Quentin has a sensibility of who people are, and everyone on set was an amazing person, and that's rare. Like,
whatever they do, whatever you do, you're just on the right place in the right time, you're a right person. That's amazing. But you said, I agree, I'm totally agree with you. He can do that. He can create this kind of reality, this kind of energy. He's incredibly charismatic personality as well, like a guy who is standing, and you can feel, you had
know
that
when
something
he's
like
in the room.
Do you remember those moments?
Yeah, I mean, tons of them. And I just feel like he was very specific in how he even went about things. Like I mentioned earlier, the 100 rolls of film parties. I don't know many directors who can do that. And it makes sense that Quentin does it. He just loves it so much. The whole experience to him, he's just like, I don't know how to describe it, because his energy was just a 10 at all times. Like, it didn't matter what hour of the day it was, how long it had been. He was just so happy to be there. And when you're bouncing off of that energy, and you're driving to set, and it just like the whole thing just felt like a dream.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Those moments. Those moments. Like, okay, guys, enough for now. Let's have a break. Let's talk. And then suddenly, I was once on the set when we had it. When Margot was shooting. She had this scene in a movie theater. Yeah, with Gwen, and I went there on a set, and that was like a okay, it's a normal meeting. It's not a movie set.
Yeah.
It's like meeting. Okay, let's have fun for a while, like 1 hour break, and then get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
loved those parties. I loved them. And I just, Quentin the entire time. I mean, there's a moment I remember where it's like in the opening part of the movie. It's maybe the first 10 minutes. And you see Manson girls walking through LA, and then we're dumpster diving. Yeah, and that was like deep LA when we were filming it. And when we were about to film the dumpster part, Quentin came up, and he just had this grin on his face, like he knew. And he came up and he was like, "Okay, there's hamburger buns, there's bananas, there's this, somewhere in this dumpster, and I'm not going to tell you where. I'm just going to let the cameras roll. Just don't forget, when you find the hamburger buns, say, 'We got buns!' And I'm just going to let it roll. All right? Cool? And then walks off. And sure enough, we start digging through the dumpster that's like actually filled with a bunch of stuff. And it was like an actual treasure hunt. Yet we were filming a movie. And I think it as an artist too helped me really be there as a Manson girl, because that's what they really did, was digging through dumpsters. So it made it feel so real to me, and it was just so fun, where I feel like most sets are like, all right, the hamburger buns are going to be in the corner right here.
Yeah,
Make sure you
obviously.
look over there. Yeah, and Quentin's like, good luck.
I love that scene, really. It's beautiful. Like when they are walking with those treasures, right?
Yeah.
Through LA.
Yeah, and that's the way Quentin would say, like, you can't believe you got this. Like, this is your treasure hunt.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I know now, and I see now that it's very important when you've got director who knows exactly what kind of task you need to stay in the moment, in this atmosphere, and in the same time to not act too much.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I think he just gets actors, and I think especially with his background being an actor, and he has more of an understanding of film than anyone I've met. Anyone, every single side. I mean, people joke it's like talking to an encyclopedia, and it really is, where you can barely keep up with him, because he's just so aware of everything on set, and so aware of so much history. And when I started filming, I asked him what they'd been filming, because I knew that they had already started before I had gotten on set. And he was telling me how they were going around town getting footage of like old Hollywood, and that they revamped the Taco Bell and Casa Vega, and like how they changed
Moose and Frank.
Yeah, and he knew exactly from his memory how it was in 1969, and was describing what they had to change in, what was that, 2018, to make it feel like 1969. And he's just so, every single detail is so important to him, and he just really cares.
I asked him about the car which Polanski's got in the movie, and that because I didn't know that this car could have Polanski, and I asked Quentin about it, and he said no, because he hadn't. Like, that's my imagination. And I said, okay, now I understand.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Yeah, well, even the car that we drive to Cielo Drive,
Mm-hmm.
he told me that we actually had access to the real car, and it still drives. Someone owns it.
No way.
We could have had that, and he thought that that was too much voodoo. So he sent someone to take photos of it, and what you see on screen is what they exactly replicated, every
Wow.
detail to look
Wow.
just like the car. But he chose not to have the actual car. So he's very mindful with his details,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also
Mm-hmm.
very mindful about the energy on set
Yeah.
and
About
what we're doing.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
About energy, because now I'm gonna ask you about this almost the last scene, when we can see everything, like a lot of blood. It's
Yeah.
mad.
If you haven't seen the film yet, there are spoilers ahead, okay?
I think that people know it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. That was insane to be a part of.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, I immediately have to say Zoe Bell. Like, Zoe Bell is
Oh,
incredible.
Zoe, hugs and kiss, really great job
I
in the
love
movie.
Zoe. I love her
I'm
so
gonna
much.
talk about Zoe as well with Mike after
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Oh wow. I love her to pieces.
Yeah.
She is such a badass. And with her and our entire stunt team, because there were a lot of them, that scene was possible. And dummies. I mean, most of what you see is not me. I was on set and I was watching it happening, but most of the rougher part of that was stunt double and dummies, actual dummies, which I have to say that was maybe one of the weirdest parts of the entire experience, was because they made life-sized dummies to use when the head's getting slammed against the table,
the table, the wall.
Yeah. But there were 3 of them. It looked just like me. And I would just be walking around on set. And there was one time where I got a sense of, when you're on set and you're just trying to move through people and like get out of the way. And I felt like I was in the way of someone, and I kind of ducked down. It felt like they were up here. I was like, sorry, excuse me. And I look up, and it's one of my dummies on a pole, like looking down like this. And I couldn't, I'm not a screamer, but it caught me so off guard. I let out a scream because I just didn't know that it was there. And then I looked up and it's myself like this.
Oh my God.
And Brad came over and he
Terrible.
was like, I heard you screaming, and I was like, the dummies, man, they're just
No,
everywhere.
it wasn't me, the dummy. It wasn't me, the dummy.
Yeah, and he was like, I've been there. I know, it's weird.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. But that's amazing scene, by the way. That's Tarantino's way.
Yeah, watching that in the theater, I'll never forget it. In any movie ever, I've never experienced people yelling and cheering and clapping as if we were watching like theater. And to go and watch something that we were a part of and have people cheering, like to even like you forget that you were a part of it. Like it's just this out of body experience where when I was watching it, I really felt like I was watching the movie, and that I wasn't thinking about, I remember filming that, which is usually my experience as an actor.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's like you're moving to you're moving back, like you're moving to this adventure, like to the past, and you don't remember actually that you worked there. You just are watching reality, like life.
Yeah, and that last scene, even being there every single day, once it's like edited together, I was jumping in my seat, and I was, when I saw it at the premiere with my dad and all of us together.
I remember.
Yeah, you met my dad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I always bring my mom with me to the premieres, but this one I had to bring my dad because my dad is the reason I knew who Quentin was. And I remember being 9 years old and him saying I can't go to bed because Pulp Fiction's on and I need to know this movie.
Wow.
So I had to bring my dad to that premiere, and if I had another ticket, Mommy would have been there, but I had to bring my dad, and it was fun watching with him. And we also, the first time I saw it was at Quentin's house. We had like a little screening, and then I saw it in theaters. I went and bought a ticket, and I was sitting between my boyfriend and my best friend. Saw it with a good group of my friends, and both my boyfriend and best friend were holding my hand. And in that end scene, as it escalates, they kept gripping my hand, where eventually I was like, you guys, my hand, like, it's not real. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm right here. Look, my face is fine.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I had the same. I was moving on the chair when I was watching premiere, and I was no. Oh shit, what's going on? And I was laughing and I was crying, everything. But I had the same feeling that I forgot that I was there. Like I was watching a movie. Like
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Madison,
I
I'm
feel
so happy that you found the time. We will finish soon, like in 2-3 minutes, because Mike is waiting, I think.
Oh
He
man,
woke up.
yeah, I don't want to keep him waiting. But this has been amazing, and thank you for having me, and hello to everyone watching everywhere. This
So
trip
say
down
something.
memory
Say
lane.
something to our viewers, like to audience, if you want.
Yeah. How do I say hello, everyone?
Cześć wszystkim.
Cześć wszystkim.
Cześć wszystkim, tak. Albo siema. Możesz powiedzieć, you can say siema.
Siema.
Yeah.
This has been really incredible. I have so much love for you. I know we all have so much love for what we were a part of. You're not too late. Mike Mo's coming on next. So many people I love. And also really quickly, I just want to acknowledge the protests that are happening worldwide right now. We shouldn't be afraid of it. I think it's very important what's happening. And I love talking about movies, and I could do this all day, but I do want to acknowledge that. And it's very important what's happening.
Yes.
And if you can, go join the protest.
Yeah, and we have to share love and good energy and freedom everywhere, wherever we are.
Yeah, freedom and justice for all.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for having me.
Madison,
Thank you all for logging on.
You know that I would love to talk with you like hours, and I promise you, if you come to Poland or I go to LA, we have to do that with your boyfriend and with our friends.
Yeah, let's do both.
Let's do both. But there's maybe you heard about that place, Jones. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I came to meet you there one night. Maybe a couple nights in LA.
Maybe,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I heard that it's new place in LA.
Yeah, never heard of it before. Never been there.
Maybe there.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, Madison. I text you and I call you, and thank you for your time. Great to have you here. And you did great job in that movie, in another movies which you worked, and really all the best to you, all the best in your life, in your future.
Thank you. Hugs from Los Angeles, and tell everyone I said hello.
Sorry?
Tell everyone that Mike and Zoe that I say hello.
Oh yeah, okay. Probably Mike is there. If Mike is here, you can text something, brother, because next guest you are, and we're gonna talk.
You might want to restart the live because I think Instagram cuts you off at an hour.
Yes, yeah. I will do that. Yeah, I will do that in a few minutes. So we're gonna say with Mike hello, or I just say like something to people. Now I'm gonna talk in Polish with people, and then I will invite Mike in my next live. Oh, Mike is here. Yeah,
Mike!
he's
Hi, Mike!
yeah.
I'm gonna log off so you can hop on. But hi, Mike. I adore you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
Ciao.
having me again.
Thank
Ciao.
you, Madison. Ciao. All the best. Much love. Bye bye. Mwah.
Bye.
Okej. To był mój pierwszy gość, Madison, która opowiedziała o swojej przygodzie właściwie z Quentinem i z filmem Pewnego Razu w Hollywood. Mógłbym naprawdę godzinami z nią jeszcze rozmawiać, bo jest, jak sami widzicie, jest świetną dziewczyną naprawdę i znakomitą aktorką. I'm saying, Madison, that you're great and great actress, and really that was beautiful to have you here. And I can't wait to see you in real life in LA or in Warsaw, because people invite you here. People want to invite you to Poland. Moim drugim gościem będzie Mike. Tyle tylko, że nam się rozłączy transmisja z Mike'iem, więc Mike'a muszę od razu zaprosić. Mike jest tutaj. Mike, to jest, muszę wam powiedzieć dwa słowa. Mike, I'm gonna introduce you right now to our audience, to people who are watching us. That this is another guy who I met in LA and with who I worked. I haven't seen with you, but I met you in LA, and your energy is incredible. What you're sharing with people, it's amazing, and I'm so happy that I met you. Mike grał Bruce'a Lee w filmie. Jest też instruktorem sztuk walki, też prowadzi szkołę, o czym nam może powie. Więc po prostu, żeby nie tracić czasu, od razu zapraszamy Mike. Mike, hope you're here with us. Yeah, you're here. I'm gonna call you, and in 8 minutes we're gonna finish for a while, and then we can connect again. Hey, my friend, brother.
Rafa.
Good morning. Good morning.
My Wi-Fi. Sorry, I'm a little laggy. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, now I hear you. Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear.
cool.
Yeah, brother. Wake up. It's a beautiful day.
I know.
Well,
it's Sunday. It's lunchtime. I just woke up.
Oh, okay. It's even, I think it's too early, like for lunch. But brother, I have to tell you that sorry for that, but live is like 1 hour. So we're gonna start talking now, and I will say like, Mike, okay, I reconnect, and then we can talk longer, okay? Longer.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And you're in LA or in New York?
I'm in Wisconsin, which is like closer to Chicago.
Okay. That's fine. Brother, I mean, Madison is sending love, you know that, because she was my first guest.
Yes, I was
We
able
were
to catch a
talking.
little bit of it. That was great.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, thanks for your time, and for that you agreed to be here, and that we can talk a little bit about our movie and about our director and about you and your fantastic work, brother, in our movie.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's first of all, it's just good to see you and speak with you.
Yeah, I'm so happy, brother.
You told me we're gonna do karaoke. We're doing an interview?
No, karaoke.
I'm
I
just
got an
joking.
orchestra here.
Please no.
That's good, brother. No, if we start karaoke, I think that people will just, go away. I cannot sing.
Next
Let's
time.
try. Next
Next
time.
time.
Well, brother, tell me about this moment, first moment when you actually heard and know about Bruce Lee part in that movie.
Yeah, I was, funny enough, I was teaching a martial arts class at my school, and my agent called and they said, you need to be in LA tomorrow morning. And I had to pay my own way because I'm not living in LA. So I said, yeah, I'll go. And I flew over there and I did my first audition. And then I flew home, and a couple of weeks later, my agents called and they said, hey, Quentin responded to your tape. So for me, I was like, wow, he actually knows who I am and he watched my work and he thought it was okay. So then I then I got to fly out there again. And then the second audition, I got to meet Quentin, and he was larger than life. And he's a big guy, excuse me. And
Yeah.
he just throws a hug on me. He knows my name. So this is kind of surreal at this moment. And that was a long process. It was a long process of auditioning. And you can tell that Quentin really wanted to test his actor, for whoever Bruce was going to be, because I think he really saw how important it was to get an actor that could get the essence of Bruce. And I don't think I nailed it my first or second audition. I think it was a slow process that every time I came back, I got a little better. And luckily I had that time, because as actors, we don't always get that second or third opportunity to show that we can do the job. So in this instance, it all just worked out.
But you mean that I think that if Quentin believed in his actor, he's giving him time. Like, you've got time, and you can develop it. You can open. You can forget about the borders, the barriers, or something like that, and just try to create your character.
Sure.
Yeah. And what was the main the base for you when you were trying to create Bruce Lee? That was like movies, or?
I think I was, I've been preparing for a role like this for my whole life. Even before I became an actor, I was always dreaming of being like Bruce Lee, because when I was a young boy, he was one of my inspirations for joining a martial arts school and for practicing. And for Asian male in America, we didn't see people like Bruce on screen a lot. He was one of a kind. So the fact that he was confident and strong and he can, kick ass and do these amazing things that nobody's ever seen before, that gave me a little spark to say, wow, well, I could be in movies too someday. I can kick ass, and I can be strong, even though I'm not, big and muscly. And he was muscly, but it was just, he was like a superhero. So.
And that was your, you're saying that you're preparing it for this role for whole life. I loved Bruce Lee too. I mean, when I was a kid, that was the Superman, like, the guy who's fighting with people on the street. And what about your moment, that moment when Quentin said, all right, Mike, let's go for it, let's do it, and you got the script, and you read it, and you realized about what is that movie. What was your feeling?
To read the audition sides until I flew into LA. Usually, we'll get an email or we'll get information on the project, and then you'll get the scene that you have to perform for the audition. For this one, they wouldn't give me the scene because it was so secret. So I had to fly out just to find out what this was all about. And I picked up the sides. I had about less than 20 hours to prepare this 4-page monologue. And then when I went into the casting office, that's why I said I didn't nail it. Like, I think I did really well, but it was very hard to get off book and for me to prepare the whole thing in such a short time. But I think I showed them enough, like, wow, this guy has something. And then the next time they gave me notes, and that's when I figured out, okay, this scene's probably with Brad. And as far as the whole movie, I didn't know what the movie was about until my third audition. That's when I did the table read. I was able to be at the table read with all the stars of the film, and that's when we read through the whole thing from start to finish, except for the finale with all the things that Madison was in. So when I watched the movie at the premiere with you, that was the first time really getting a picture of what the whole movie was about.
Wow, that's great. That's what I'm gonna ask you in 30 seconds, because now we have to reconnect.
Okay.
If you don't mind, so
sure,
we can talk more, like just like 30 minutes more. Okay, Mike. So I'm gonna call you back in 1 minute. Perfect. Kochani, Łączę się ponownie, zostaje nam 10 sekund, 10 seconds. It's like a rocket, launching rocket yesterday, like from SpaceX. Łączymy się ponownie.